Let's check out the poll results for the final say, and outcoached is the winner. It looks like second place would be the defense is to blame, then the ref stole it. I may be wrong on that. You guys can tell me. I'm trying to look across the room. And then last is the offense. So thank you for playing along. Let's take a look here at SEC standings, why don't we? And I'm going to wheel a little monitor closer to me. So if you see a little monitor closer to me, welcome. I'm breaking the fourth wall for you. Tennessee is still top 4 in the SEC. You look at all those 8-2 teams. You got Texas, who's 5-1, 9-1 overall. Texas A&M 5-1, 8-2 overall. Georgia 8-2, Tennessee 8-2, Alabama 8-2, Ole Miss 8-2. South Carolina, boy, nobody wants to play them right now. LSU, everybody wants to play them at the moment. They're going in the wrong direction. But let's take a look at the SEC playoff resumes. And basically, this is where you're going to start. If the SEC gets 4 teams in, you got to be the 4th team. So you're competing with the other SEC teams. Yes, it matters what else is happening in other conferences. But the gist is Texas, 9-1. They've only lost to Georgia on the year. Wins versus winning teams, Colorado State and Vandy. Who would have thought that? But you see the wins versus winning teams. This is what hurts you with all these other SEC teams you're kind of bunched with. You only have the win over Alabama. That's it. Whereas Alabama, they've beaten Western Kentucky. And again, you could say, oh, it's a small school. Yeah, well, it's better than Kent State. Sorry. That's Georgia Southern down there that Ole Miss has played. If you're going to play crap, at least get somebody that's decent crap.
Stinkers.
Yeah, get you some November stinkers. But anyway, you see that number there. Chuck, we'll get back to some other projections here in a second. I'm just going to ask you, are the Vols' playoff hopes extinguished in your mind?
No, but I think they're really faint and a flicker. You know, if you win that game yesterday, you're playing an SEC championship game.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's why we're talking about the stakes. I think it's kind of like Thanksgiving dinner, to tell you the truth. There's only so many seats at the adult table, right? Yeah. I mean, look at Colorado now. All of a sudden, they're a factor. BYU's a factor.
Well, their loss last night's going to be – that could cost you. We'll show you that in a second.
Exactly. I mean, and then you go, well, what about Ohio State and Indiana? I mean, and isn't there a little bit of a Big Ten bias with this committee? Doesn't it look like it's top-heavy with Big Ten
I think this
and SEC?
I think this committee is simply doing what I hate, and that is they're just taking – oh, he's got 1 loss, so he's here.
Yeah.
2 losses, they're there. There's no point in the committee. None. They all talk about, well, he was an athletic director for 55 years. Well, if he's just looking by record, get him out.
Right.
Strength of schedule matter? If not, then just go to a computer. We don't need this committee, in my view. But they're just looking at record, and the Big Ten teams are in a much easier league, and they've all got no losses. Yeah. Bob, are their hopes extinguished?
No, but you've got to have help from elsewhere. I think if you go 10-2 and you don't get the help, you're probably out, which is totally different than I said probably 5 or 6 weeks ago when me and you were talking about it, Chuck.
Exactly.
So, but you've got to have help. Somebody in front of you and other people in the playoff, they've got to lose.
Let me show you a projection and get a response from these two over here. Let's go up and look at Heather Dinich projects the rankings this week. This is what they'll look like. And if this is the way it ends, I'll explain it. She's got Oregon number 1, Ohio State number 2. Well, you can read for yourself, but 8th Alabama, 9th Ole Miss, 10th Georgia, 11th, she still has Tennessee 11, all right? The problem is, if it ends this way, yes, you're 11, but you're also out of the playoff because Boise State and BYU are conference champions, and the 5 highest-rated conference champions are in. So the 12th and 13th, it doesn't matter if they're 29th and 30th. They're getting in over you because they won their conference and you didn't. Jimmy, Josh, reaction?
I think that they are very slim chances. They do have to have a lot of help, like y'all mentioned. A part of it, to me, is you need the ACC and the Big 12 to only get 1 team
Exactly.
in. The other part,
right now, it's looking like it's trending that way. But if Colorado keeps winning, or
and here's what you need to have: Florida beats Ole Miss. I don't think it'll happen, but if they do, Ole Miss has 3 losses.
We're jumping. Let me put some up here, and then I'll let you react to that. Let's do this. Let's go to my next graphic here. All right. This is. I was looking at this at 3 a.m. So if you come back to me and say, well, that's completely wrong, John, it's probably because I was half asleep. But here's what I would say you need. Look, you need Tennessee to win out, obviously. You need Ole Miss and Texas A&M to each get their 3rd loss. You need them eliminated. Yep. So you'll finish with 2. You need those guys out with 3. You need all the teams on your schedule that you've played to keep winning. Whenever possible, you need teams that are on your schedule, whether you beat them, whether you lost them, you need them to keep winning to help your strength of schedule. And sadly, Vol fans, you better pull like heck for Alabama and Georgia, in my opinion, because Alabama's a good win, your only good win. Georgia, you need that to be a good loss, and you need to ride their coattails in. So I'm thinking you need Florida to beat Ole Miss, you need Mississippi State to beat Ole Miss, you need Kentucky to upset Texas if you could. I don't think that's going to happen, obviously, so better to pull for Texas A&M to lose to Auburn or to Texas. You need the teams that can help your schedule to keep winning, but you've got to pull for Alabama and Georgia, in my mind, and pray you're the fourth team in riding their coattails. Do you agree or disagree with that, gentlemen?
I agree with all that except for the Bama-Georgia part. You'd like them to just lose. Now, that's unlikely, to be clear.
but
I
I
don't think
think
Auburn's going to beat them, but if they lose again, then they're out.
Well, they may
It's
be
a
out,
third
but
loss,
I don't know how strong you're going to be if that's your only win and you've not beaten anybody that's in the playoff. That's my only consideration.
Yeah, but if if Heather Dinich's projection is correct and Tennessee's the first team out,
Yeah.
well, if one of the teams right above them
If she's right.
loses, then Tennessee moves
And
in.
here's
If you're going by Heather Dinich's projection.
Right, and here's another real quick to me, wild card. What happens if SMU wins the ACC? Do you tell Miami you're not
No, I
in?
think Miami gets in that point.
Yeah.
See, and there's just so many chair seats at the table could get pulled out from it.
Yeah,
It's like
I just-
Thanksgiving dinner.
It's like Thanksgiving dinner.
All right, we're way over. Very good. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. When we come back,
So much for Thanksgiving dinner.
let's see what our VFLs have to say about Nico Iamaleava after 10 games. Come on back.